Hi, it's Jerry Corley, founder of the Stand-Up Comedy Clinic, and we're trying something totally new here. I'm just doing some of my blog posts, or I'm answering some questions on this new segment I'm calling Ask the Joke Doctor. This is where I get questions sent in to me either on Facebook or Twitter, and people ask me some questions about the business, about joke writing, about fixing a joke, whatever questions people have, whether it's getting work to designing an entire act. I try to answer as many questions as I can. So this actual question comes from a guy named Helder Gonzalo. Helder Gonzalo, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I think it's right. Helder Gonzalo in Angola, Africa. You know what? Do you know where Angola is? Angola, when I first got this on my Facebook, I was like, wow, Angola? Are you kidding me? It's like on the southern west coast of Africa, below the Congo area. Look at it on the map. Here's the Congo, and there's Angola, Botswana, Zambia's there, Namibia. I mean, these are countries that we've barely even heard of, and they're hitting me up on Facebook to ask me questions about comedy. You know, I think it's amazing that comedy's blowing up all over the world. I mean, if you've really checked around, it first started like 5 years ago. It really started blowing up in England. I mean, a lot of work going on in England and Ireland. If you were a comic from the United States, if you were a Yank, and you went over to England, you could get a lot of work. It's changed a little since then, but still, the ability to check out what's going on around the world is amazing. Check out what's happening down in Australia. It's blowing up there, too. I'm not sure about New Zealand, but I'm sure there's some cool stuff going on down there with those 12 or 13 people. So Angola, right in Angola, basically he read one of my blog posts about the 20 comic masks. You know, again, I put in there that that's just kind of it's a loose term. It's nothing specific because it's such an art form to decide what your mask is. I mean, whether you're a buffoon, whether you're the intellectual snob, whether you're just the goofy guy, whether you're, like Larry the Cable Guy would be like a buffoon. You know, you can be an impressionist. You can be the ventriloquist, the actor, if you will, but the intelligent guy, you know, sort of that professorial type of guy, or the act-out comedian, like, say, a Brian Regan sort of thing. Or there was guys, he said, basically the comic mask, like a comedian like Jerry Seinfeld, he's basically listed as a comedian because he's observational, he's quirky. So when he asked us, he says, what's my comedy mask? I'm observational, quirky, and intelligent, so what's my mask? What's his persona? What's he going for? First of all, my first comment back to him on Facebook was, how long have you been doing this? And he wrote back 7 months. Now, don't be in such a rush to find out what your persona is. It's not that, you know, you'll find it. The first couple of years, you're just trying to get used to being up on stage, being comfortable, and getting familiar with funny, you know, writing your jokes. But to actually sit there and worry so much about your persona, don't chase it. It'll come to you. You know, they say that it takes about, 7 to 10 years to find your persona. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that because, I mean, the first really few years, people are learning how to just write jokes. So, however, if you begin to understand the science of laughter and the structures of comedy, your joke writing starts to fall into place a lot sooner than a lot of people who just sort of wing it, you know, trial and error type of comics. So this comedy mask, you're observational, quirky, and intelligent. Right now, you're a comedian. Right now, you're going up there sort of trying it all. And but again, don't chase the mask. It'll come to you. What I try to tell students who are just beginning in stand-up is like, let's see the guy you are around your friends at the bar. You know, who are you when you're hanging around your friends at a bar? I mean, that's the guy you want to sort of be able to bring to stage. That's the guy you're really comfortable with, yourself. The reason why I sort of encourage that, especially for actors who are also doing stand-up or comedians who want to be actors, is to learn to be themselves. Because 95% of the time you go out, go on a casting call for something as an actor, you go out on an audition and you read the part, the casting director stops and goes, okay, that was nice, now just be yourself. And if you can't be yourself, that's a problem. A lot of actors who have that formal training will be like, what do you mean be myself? I'm a character. I've been a character all my life. I don't need to be myself. haven't you studied Chekhov, Boleslavsky, Stanislavski? I've studied character, you know, and they can't be themselves. So one of the things about comedians is comedians can be themselves. So Steven Soderbergh actually said that during a speech to the industry, he said, you want to cast your films? Here's how you do it. Put your stars in place, then hire comedians. Because comedians just do it. They don't sit there and go, what's my motivation, what's my inspiration? They just do what you ask. Because we're used to being on stage in the present, in the moment with the audience. So that's what you want you to be as an actor, is just to be present, be in the moment, absolutely purely in the moment. And if you're not, as a comedian, you know that if you're a comedian, you go into your head, the audience goes into their head. So the audience is in whatever state the performer is in. So if you're like having a good time, if you're open, if you're vibrant, if you're interacting, and you know, you have that energy, that dynamic energy, the audience is going to be in the exact same way. But if you're in your head, or if you're nervous, the audience will take on that quality as well. It's an amazing phenomenon, but if you learn anything from stand-up, you learn how easily the audience will take on your persona or take on your state of emotion at the time. So that's one of the ways you never ever have to bomb, is if you just keep your sense of humor, if you keep funny about, you know, see the humor in the fact that individual jokes might not be working, that's key. If you can do that, then your persona will eventually come to you. The idea that you're observational, quirky, and intelligent is really starting to shape your persona. You could sort of be the guy who's like constantly thinking of things. Did you ever ask yourself why X, Y, Z happens? So if you could do that, that's kind of what that will define your persona. But don't chase it. You don't have to chase it. It'll come to you. Give it time, right? You're 7 months in, you know, a year and a half. Look at it and see if your persona is actually evolving. So I hope this helped answer that question for you. So again, if you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter, and AskTheJokeDoctor is the name of or hashtag AskTheJokeDoctor. My Twitter handle is @JokeDoctor. So go ahead and ask a question. I'd be happy to answer it for you. Or you can hit me up on Facebook, but I prefer if you do it on Twitter, because then I could just hashtag and look for those Ask the Joke Doctor questions, and I can answer a bunch of them. So I hope you enjoyed this. I look forward to seeing you again. Jerry Corley, StandUpComedyClinic.com.